I've been on the Writers of the Future forum for a couple of years now, using all the resources and the people that have built this community that just wants to help. And so people swap critiques and everything, and learning lessons on how to improve our writing. And then there's the online writing course that you guys have that was my first introduction to short stories. I'd written a couple of novels that went absolutely nowhere. I now know that they're absolutely horribly written. And so I was looking for something to learn the art and craft of writing, and that really, it was like light bulbs popping up in my head, or hopefully over my head. And so all of that, I started listening to this blog, this podcast, and just learning from experts in the field. And so all of that has been this uplifting experience of helping. And so that's really what Writers of the Future means to me, is it's helping writers become more, providing all the resources. They're all out there. All you have to do is use them and write.
So again, a lot of what Mr. Hankins there said resonates with me as well. But for me, the Writers of the Future contest, it really represented, I would say, a message, firstly from a personal level, the message that, I can write. It's for the longest time, it's been a hobby. It's something I enjoy doing. And like some other people here, I started writing really long fiction, and I wrote a few things novel length that weren't so good, and then realized maybe some short stories would be a fun idea. So I started doing that, and then just by a random Google search came across this contest, and then realized, wow, this kind of thing exists. So I started submitting to that and took the courses there, and it really taught me a lot of things I realized I was lacking. And then the whole process of showing up again and again and submitting again and again and getting some validation too from that, like the honorable mentions, the silver honorable mention, kept me going, as it were, because rejection's rough when you're new.
Rejection is very rough. Yeah.
When you're new to it, like when you're a veteran, you kind of get used to it a bit. It still hurts, but when you're new, it stings a lot more. So anyway, so that validation was very helpful, and then the courses, and like especially by David Farland, the courses he provided and all that really helped me write better short stories, and all of that felt like, again, support coming from the outside.
Right.
So this contest is almost like it is a contest. It's very competitive. Many people compete for those for the win, but at the same time, how it's structured and how it's run, it's a support network. Frankly.
The training that we receive, it's a free training course on how to write. And whether you go to the online class, or you go to the forums, or you read the books and you say, I want to get better, I want to submit, and I want to win, you're training yourself, just like any athlete or college student. Ultimately it's a master's class, because I pretty much just wrote for this contest for the past 12 years. I mean, I would submit other places, but I wanted to learn how to write a story that would win here. And to win here is incredibly difficult and challenging. And I said, that's what I want. And so I'm taking a master's class on my own, at my own pace. And it took a little longer than some other folks, but I got there. And so pace yourself, do it your way, and you could be up here as well. And I also got a lot of friendship over the years from the online forums. This is my social network. I work from home, and I have one employee that works part-time. So for me, having the community online of other people, building friendships that go outside the forum. We email each other, we visit from time to time. So now I have the win, and I have new friends that I've met face-to-face, and a gorgeous image that Chris Arias drew, and everything is just tremendous.
That I really enjoyed was Fear. Now, I admit, I'm not really a horror fan, and Stephen King called Fear, I think he said, one of the real classics. The real true classics of horror, which is, for him, I think was a rare thing. Now, I went in a little bit trepidatious, because I was like, I don't really like horror. Is this going to scare me? And it was spooky, certainly, but what I think was masterful about it is that it was for me, I think I almost was looking at it and seeing how he built it and just really admiring the slow descent through it. And I think reading Fear was a great point for me, because as well as that, I'm actually reading Hubbard's essays and seeing how clear his voice was. I was like, oh, okay, this man actually really knows what he's talking about writing. Like,